Hi guys, Dr. Mitchell again. Here we're going to look at void methods a little bit more and look at how we can call and use those non-static void methods without parameters using the dot operator. And we're also going to look at what's going to happen if I try to call a method on a null reference. So what are we learning today? We're going to learn how non-static methods can be called through objects of the class. We'll look at how to call methods using the dot operator. We'll also look at how void methods don't have return values, as well as what happens when I try to call a method or access an instance variable using a null reference. So if you remember from before, we had a letter object where I had several void methods in order to print out, piece together and print out a letter to a friend. So these are, of course, non-static methods, and I used the dot operator friend letter dot write letter in order to call those methods. Now, if I wanted to try a different example and create a lamp, then I have to also then think about what state or attribute that I can represent of a lamp. Of course, most common thing that we would think of is whether or not the lamp is on. So I'm going to represent that state of the lamp with a variable called isOn. And it's going to be a Boolean variable since it can be either on or off or true or false. So then when I think about what behavior I could represent for that lamp, I'm basically trying to manipulate the state of that lamp. So I want to be able to either turn the lamp on or turn the lamp off. So if I now translate that over to Java, you see now that I have a Boolean variable called isOn. I have my turn on method that's void that's going to set isOn to true to represent the lamp being on. And then I'll print out to the user that my lamp is on. Then I have another void method called turn off that is going to set my isOn state, my isOn variable, to false to show that the lamp is off, and I'll print out to the user that the lamp is off. So in my main method, the first thing that I do is create a lamp object. And I'm going to create that lamp to be called lamp1. And notice that it's going to use the default constructor, which is just going to set isOn to its default value. So for a Boolean, that default value is false. So right now, my lamp is off. The next line, lamp1 dot turn on, then calls the turn on method for lamp1 so that I can perform the action associated with that method call, which in this case is going to set isOn to true to say that the lamp, or to set the state of the lamp to on, and then I'll print out to the user to say the lamp is on. My next line then creates a lamp2 object, which again, by default, my lamp is off because I'm using the default constructor, which sets the isOn variable to false. Then I turn on that lamp, lamp2.turnOn is going to call the turn on method for that lamp object, which when I do that, it ends up setting isOn to true for that lamp, for lamp2, and prints out the message, the lamp is on. Finally, if I call lamp1.turnOff, this is still calling just the turn off method for lamp1 only. So that's then going to set isOn back to false or turn the lamp off and print out the message to the user that the lamp is off. So after that, the program is then over and I see that the final state of those two lamps is false for lamp 1, or that lamp is off, and lamp 2 is on or set to true. Now, if I wanted to proceed by creating a lamp that didn't have anything, I could then add a null reference. But first, let's look at our turn on and turn off methods. They are both void, so they don't actually return anything. They just perform a specific action, or they have a behavior for the lamp. But in order for that behavior to happen, of course, those lamps need to exist. I can't turn on a lamp that doesn't exist. So if I then add lamp 3, but I don't initialize it, I don't have equals new lamp, all I've done is just created the space in memory for this lamp to exist. However, it doesn't have a state because I have not initialized it, and therefore it doesn't have any behaviors. It doesn't have the ability to turn on or off because it doesn't know what that is. It doesn't know how to do those things. All I've done is just created that space in memory for the lamp to even exist, but I haven't initialized anything. So as a result, if I say lamp3.turn on, we're going to run into a problem because it doesn't know how to turn on. I never actually told it to be a lamp. I've just said in the computer that, hey, we're going to have this lamp that's going to be here, but it doesn't know that it's a lamp yet. So when I try to call the turn on method, I'm going to wind up with an error called the null pointer exception error. Depending on your IDE, the full text of that error might be different, but ultimately there's going to be something in there that says null pointer exception, because it's saying that this method call is referring to an object that is currently set to null. It's pointing to a null reference. So this null reference doesn't know its state. It doesn't know how to turn on or off. It doesn't know how to do anything. So as a result, we wind up with that error. So what do we take away from this? We now see how non-static methods are called through objects of our class. We see how to use the dot operator with our object name to call those non-static methods. We also see how void methods do not have return values. They just perform an action. So I wouldn't be able to turn around and use those in an expression. And we also see how using a null reference to call that method or access instance variables will result in a null pointer exception. Thanks. I will see you guys again soon.